right, here on Ohana, we've got a lovely ZVZ for game number 3. The first game we saw ZVZ, second game we saw ZVP. This time we've got Hyun in, and people have been wanting to see him play a ZVZ for a long time, so this will be one chance to do that.
You know, if he loses now, that's what people are going.
People are going to be like, get that guy, get True, get anyone who can beat Hyun in any amount of BOs. This would be a BO1, Vampire beat him in a BO3, so I can't believe, I mean, that even if Hyun played Vampire in a BO9, that Hyun would lose. I mean, he still might not lose. Anyway, True is the person that has already taken out 2 of TSL's finest, and he's looking to go through the rest of the roster. Right now, it is I Am True.
Okay, so True is on a roll. He's won 2 games in a row so far, and TSL, you know, I mean, they still have a lot to play for here. I mean, it's mostly pride, but they can also play kind of the spoiler as they have in their hands who IM plays in the playoffs. We already knew how the first group kind of shook out, so... which congratulations as well to MVP and EG for making it through in Group A. Pretty impressive performance. Yeah,
Evil Geniuses won the group, and I could not have predicted that when we got started. Yeah, they did win the group, right?
Yes, they did. You are correct.
Yeah,
you are.
Yeah, I would not have predicted that. I mean, that's a really tough group to get through. MVP, Slayers, and Team Liquid all in there, especially when Liquid had such a monster season in Team Arena Challenge 3. They just could not get it together for this series and ended up going 0-3 in that group. Evil Geniuses ended up on top. Pretty crazy role reversal there from one season to the next.
And yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's match as well, Complexity versus Acer. Like I said, both teams are 1-1. There's someone in their division who's 3-0. There's someone in their division who's 0-3. So it's not like there's any sort of weird possibilities. They either win or they're out. So there's going to be quite a bit on the line. Should make for a fun match. And both players deciding to put down expansions about the same time after their initial pools. Both players, let's see here, a lot of gas coming in already for Hyun. He's going to have that up much faster than his opponent. True's is just on the way, so a significant circling speed advantage at the very least for Hyun.
All right, and Hyun did lose that 1 game to life in the previous series that he played, so I'm not sure if ZVZ is going to be as strong as the ZVT and ZVP have shown through the last 10 weeks of Fight Club. I'm not sure, obviously ZVZ is kind of a different animal. The other guy has the same access that you do to all of the same units. I know that Hyun's unit control is very good. It's just a matter of being able to make the right decisions during fights, and obviously unit count is a big part of that. So choosing when to drone up, choosing when to make units, all very important decisions in this mirror matchup. And what are you trying to display here?
We've got an awful lot of supply that's freed up for Hyun right now. He's not made a drone in a really long time. I think we're going to see a lot of speedlings here in a bit. That's just my guess. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, and the scouting link from True did not get up the ramp to be able to see that either.
Okay, and yeah, True hasn't actually picked up on any of this yet. So, Hyun, he's going to try a big old speedling all-in almost. We'll see if he drones up after this shortly, or if this is just going to be nothing but just endless amounts of speedlings.
Look at True putting up the defensive Baneling nest. That's why you do it, in case, 30 lings show up at your doorstep unannounced. And all of these queens and spine crawlers being placed make me think that True is kind of onto this. He's got really good
he is now.
Base defense set up. Oh, he's certainly on it now as they run right past that Overlord. You can see him taking his very defensive positions there. The spine crawler is already finished, which is great for him. Both queens at the ramp are going to be able to stall out for a while, and he does have a pretty significant number of links. He's making a lot more to be able to defend this.
Yeah, and Hyun's actually repelled pretty easily, and now the Baneling Nest is going to finish up, and that's a problem for Hyun. He realizes it, he produced another queen and a couple of drones back at home, and he's going to keep trying to put on pressure, but with these Banelings morphing in very quickly, I don't know how much he'll be able to get done here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of ins there. There's no drones to attack at the moment. I mean, well, there's a couple, but basically he's not going to be able to get through the spine crawler and huge ling count. True has actually put out quite a lot and was able to stay alive during that first initial attack, and we have 3 3 banelings on the field now for True. He's just going to scuttle after them as Hyun does not have a baneling nest of his own. He's actually just going to try to defend back at home. If he keeps all of his units as one big force here, True could get onto the other side of the map, still have those banelings intact, and try to get some damage in.
Oh, that could have been a disaster. Hyun's retreating back home. He actually did have the drone advantage there for a little bit, and looks like he will manage to pick off 1 or 2 of these banelings. Although 4 Zerglings going down to a baneling is not the worst trade for True, so I'm sure he's not too worried about that. Wow! Hyun is getting close to some disasters, though.
He's tempting fate. He is separating 1 ling at a time to try and get rid of these banelings. There's 1 left, but True has the option to make many, many more. He's still got 77 gas that he can make some banelings with as well. That Spinecrawler is going to get totally surrounded as Hyun's lings are too afraid to get in there and try and stop them.
No transfusions. There was actually a transfusion available, but he uses it on the Queen instead. The banelings are getting cleaned up pretty quickly. Oh, very nice transfusion right at the end. And is he going to keep both Queens alive? He does, and only a couple of workers have fallen. So in the end, Hyun holds really well, but because his opponent was doing nothing but droning up back at home, the economic damage has been done, and now Hyun finds himself at a 12-worker deficit.
Okay, so Hyun quite significantly behind here at the 8.5-minute mark. Neither player is able to take a third base. It's just been back and forth destruction, ling death on either side for our 2, Korean Zerg players, TSL Hyun and IGNProLeague. So far, Hyun really has not been able to catch any breaks. He's just showed up at a bad time and not been able to defend very well back at his natural. The Queens did a great job, though, saving those transfusions for the absolute last second. Sending 1 ling to try and kill off those banelings is always a great move. If you can force 1 of them to blow up, at least you can get a very good trade value for that. And he's going to try it again. There he goes. Actually, 2 lings for 1 baneling is not so bad, but the fact that there are 4 left to try and chew through is going to be pretty tough. He gets another one, which is still, again, a good trade, and Hyun is trying his best to trade evenly without losing a whole bunch of his lings.
And at the same time, he's got to macro up back at home and do a lot of other things. So he's still down by 13 workers, and even when the next round finishes, it's actually going to be a bigger worker deficit. So he is still quite far behind in economy. Trying to pick off these units 1 at a time. Looks like he's pretty successfully done that.
Yeah, True held that first attack so well. I still can't get over that. I mean, he didn't really have any way of indicating that this was coming, but after they ran past the Overlord, he formed everything up in perfect position and held it just amazingly. And True does have a layer available to him now. Hyun is going to have his done in just a moment. And Hyun is putting up an Evo chamber. It looks like True's already been upgrading. He does have +1 range on the way, as well as roach speed and burrow.
Yeah, Hyun's trying anything at this point because he recognizes how far behind he is. He's trying a third base, and that's a very risky proposition. If True decides to sit back, wait for a while before he moves out, well, great, it's going to work out for him. Unfortunately for Hyun, he's not moving up the Spire. He's not going into any sort of crazy infestor tech that could take a while. No, he is actually just putting up a Roach Warren and pumping out a lot of +1 roaches with speed and burrow.
Yeah, with speed and burrow on his side, he'll be able to do some sneaky things. Hyun is just now getting his Roach Warren up, so at the moment he's only got access to speedlings, doesn't even have a baneling nest available, so he is just going to do his best to keep True from taking a third base. That's the only advantage that he really has, is getting the third base up potentially before his opponent, and if he can sit on that, try and catch up in drones. Actually, has caught up in drones, 48 to 48. That's kind of interesting. I'm surprised to see that, especially with that huge production or supply deficit. Excuse me. Now the gap is closing just a little bit as he's making a round of roaches, but True is looking still just in a very dominant position.
Oh, yeah, and that economic advantage that he was carrying was just thrown aside a little bit in favor of a million spine crawlers. He does give up the third base. He's trying to produce as many units as he can, and already pulling drones off the line to deal with this. That's never a good sign.
He wants to live.
Live, Hyun, live!
Canceled that hatch, as you said, to place a bunch of spine colors. He's trying to get transfusions as favorably as he can. That queen is going to go down in a bath of roach spit. All these spine crawlers are going to repel, but look at that burrow already coming in handy. He can regenerate those roaches so quickly, and that is still a unique thing that roaches can do that a lot of players tend to forget about. Once you're hurt, you can just burrow just out of range, and even if they have detection, you can pop up and try to defend yourself. But being able to regenerate that roach HP so quickly is a huge benefit to any Zerg player. We've got infestation pits actually evenly being created for both players around the same time. These roaches, though, might be able to do the job themselves.
Roach is getting a little bit far there. Spine Crawlers do have a bit of additional damage against armored units, so they are pretty effective against roaches, all things considered. But that is a lot of roaches. 30 roaches to just 5, and the workers are getting slaughtered so quickly, and just everything being decimated here. And True looks like he is going to roll to a quick 3-0.
Yeah, True with a big advantage, and Hyun losing those queens and drones. There's no way he's going to be able to stabilize after that. Infestation Pit getting targeted down, and Hyun GG's out of there. True already on a roll with 3 kills.
All right, so Incredible Miracle certainly not letting off the pressure this fall.